Time is running. Order, order, honorable senators. Order. The floor is available to the Deputy President and no other senator or no other enemy.
Well, the Speaker of the Senate, Honorable Amason Kingi, currently presiding over the business of the Senate this afternoon, has just directed that the floor at this particular juncture is not available to any other senator owing to the...
Enoch, I used very basic English. I know you. You have such a wonderful grasp of the language. You need not to get any clarification.
It is exactly 15:04 p.m. this afternoon, being the 17th day of October 2024. The afternoon sitting of the Senate this afternoon was to kick off with the Deputy President taking the stand, bearing in mind the DP, His Excellency Rigathi Gachagua, is the sole witness in the case where the National Assembly, through the move of the motion, Honorable Mwengi Mutuse has leveled 11 grounds for impeachment of the Deputy President from office. We have already dispensed with the prosecution side. And during this afternoon sitting, immediately after the commencement of business, the council representing the National Assembly have confirmed to the House that they do not intend to call more witness in regards to this case. The counsel for the Deputy President had requested the House through the Speaker that any evidence where the witnesses are not appearing be expunged from the record. It is a moment of waiting at the Senate this afternoon as the House awaits the arrival of the Deputy President, Rigathi Gachagua, who is set to take this stand at the Senate this afternoon and prosecute his case through himself as well as his defense, and convince senators why the 11 grounds listed for impeachment should be quashed by the House. Our dear viewers, the motion for the removal by impeachment of His Excellency Rigathi Gachagua, EGH, the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, has 11 grounds where the National Assembly is seeking to have the Senate uphold the charges, or at least one of them, to have the Deputy President cease to hold office today. The mover of this motion, Honorable Mwengi Mutuse, who also serves as Kibwezi West lawmaker, has told senators for the better part of yesterday and today that his desire through this motion is that the House finds the Deputy President to have committed the offenses listed in this motion. And this afternoon, the defense of the Deputy President, led by Senior Counsel Lawyer Paul Muite, will be seeking to water down those charges by the evidence that they will be presenting before the Senate this afternoon. And to just take you through probably some of the charges that the Deputy President will be seeking to counter this afternoon is charge number 1 on the gross violation of the Constitution and any other law. This is pursuant to Articles 150, subsection 1BI of the Constitution. Charge number 2 in the impeachment motion by Honorable Member for Kibwezi West. The Honorable Member alleges in his motion that there is gross violation of Articles 147, subsection 1, and 152, subsection 1 of the Constitution, where the Deputy President is being accused of undermining the presidency. Under Article 147, subsection 1 of the Constitution, the Deputy President is the principal assistant of the President and shall deputize the President in the execution of President's function. In this motion, the Honorable Deputy President is accused of going in contravention with cabinet resolutions on matters evacuation of people residing along Nairobi River, and that shortly after His Excellency, shortly after being in contravention with the cabinet resolution, the Deputy President made public a statement opposing the Nairobi River riparian execution orders. According to the mover of the motion, this is undermining the resolutions by the cabinet. Under charge number 3, again on gross violation of Article 6, subsection 2, Articles 10, subsection 2A, Article 174, and Article 188, and the 4th schedule of the Constitution, where the Deputy President is accused of undermining devolution. The mover of the motion, in his motion, states that on the 20th of September 2024, His Excellency Rigathi Gachagua, recklessly and mindful of the high calling and dignified status of the office of the Deputy President, unlawfully interfered with the running of the Nairobi County government by holding a public rally in which he incited citizens against lawful directives by the Nairobi City County government on the planning and relocation of markets. This is just some of the grounds listed or some of the annexes under charge number 3, where the Deputy President is set to defend himself on these charges, among others.
Senior Counsel Paul Muite, your time started running.
Mheshimiwa Speaker, may I?
Let me just conclude, Senior. Your time started running at the time I requested you to usher in your witness. You indicated that you're getting hold of your witness. We'll give you all the time you need to get hold of your witness, but to let you know that the clock is running, and it's running on your client. You can take all the time, but his time is running out. After 2 hours, he's not appeared, the chair will make a ruling. pursuant to the rules of procedure.
Mheshimiwa Speaker, may I start first and foremost by expressing apologies and regrets that the Deputy President is not here, and by not being here, the inconvenience and delay caused to Mheshimiwa Speaker and to honorable senators. The position, Mheshimiwa Speaker, is that during that period that I went to try to find out why he wasn't here, because as Mheshimiwa Speaker knows, the Deputy President has been coming here absolutely punctually every day. The sad reality is that the Deputy President, the Republic of Kenya, has been taken sick, very sick, and as I address Mr. Speaker in this honorable House, senators, he is in hospital, Mheshimiwa Speaker. That is a sad reality.
Order, honorable senators. Order, honorable senators. Senator Kajwang. Now, Counsel for the National Assembly, you have had Senior Counsel Paul Mwite for and on behalf of the Deputy President. Considering that this is a time-bound process, what is your reaction?
Mr. Speaker, sir, this is a House governed by the rule of law. We truly empathize with the difficulty that His Excellency, the Deputy President, has found himself in. But, Mr. Speaker, sir, pursuant to Rule 11 of the rules governing this process, if I may, with your permission,
maybe Counsel for the National Assembly.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Just take a seat before you make your rejoinder. Senior Counsel Paul Mwite, having said whatever you've said, what is your proposed way forward so that a reaction can be put from the National Assembly? Are you telling us we wait until your client gets here? What is your proposed way forward?
Mheshimiwa Speaker, I have just received this information. My proposal is that you give me at least the rest of the day. I would like to go and have an assessment of his situation and maybe even come back here by 5 p.m. Right now, I would like to make an informed sort of situation after I see the Deputy President and I see the doctor, Mheshimiwa Speaker, at least an hour or two. Yes, thank you.
Very well. Counsel for the National Assembly.
Mr. Speaker, sir, having very keenly listened to my learned senior colleague, Paul Muite, Senior Counsel, it puts us in a bit of a difficulty because whereas we may want to empathize with the situation, there appears to be no indication from their end as to a specific proposal. Mr. Speaker, sir, this being a House governed by rules and this process being a time-bound process, I will draw your attention to Rule 11 of the rules of this House. If I may read, Mr. Speaker, sir, that where the National Assembly or the President chooses not to appear before the Senate, that fact shall be put on record and the Senate shall proceed with its investigation without further reference to the National Assembly or the President. But the Senate may, for exceptional reasons to be recorded, permit a later appearance before the Senate by the National Assembly or the President. Mr. Speaker, sir, I think this rule would give us guidance we may proceed. If it becomes necessary, then any additional material may then be availed. This is a time-bound constitutional process, Mr. Speaker, sir. I'm most obliged.
Let me pick the wisdom of my wonderful senators before I make my decision on the way forward. Now, I understand that all of you are wise men and women.
Speaker, can I just say a word?
Yes.
I've heard what Senior Counsel Paul Muite has said. And, Mr. Speaker, you have made it quite clear that these proceedings are time-bound. It's not so much about the situation in which His Excellency the Vice President finds himself. It's about the Senate complying with the provisions of the Constitution. That within that time frame, you must make a decision. Reading the standing orders that my learned friend, Mr. Rick Gumbo, has referred to, it would be useful to this House if Senior Counsel Paul Muite could probably give us a way forward in terms of the time limitation that the Senate has. I'm saying this because we don't want somebody to say that the Deputy President was not given an opportunity to be heard. I think the Senate will want him to be heard. But knowing the time limitation, what suggestions does the Senior Counsel have to ensure that we keep within the time parameters? At the same time, the Deputy President is given his space to defend himself.
So we have two sides. We have the minority side and the majority side. I will only allow the two leaders to speak. If you need to consult in the next 1 minute, now, honorable senators, our standing orders have not been suspended yet. It is only Senator Mazayo and the majority leader. The rest, take your seat. The rest, please take your seat.
All right, as we wait to see the developments in the Senate, and for the benefit of those who may be joining us right now, the lead counsel in the Deputy President's team, that is Paul Mwite, Senior Counsel, says that Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has taken ill and has been rushed to hospital. He was expected to be making his submissions this afternoon to present his evidence. He had said he is the only witness taking the stand on his side, and so we are waiting to see what the House decides on the way forward. There has been some engagement between or among the Speaker, the National Assembly team, as well as the legal team representing the Deputy President. And this has again now brought to the fore the question on what the law provides for in such a situation. When we talk about the timelines, because the concern is that it's a very time-bound process, which then would right now is in a bit of limbo. And so we are monitoring this just to get more details and waiting for the decision to be made. The Speaker is consulting with the leaders of majority and minority in the Senate, just so that he can provide a way forward, and that is what we are looking to see. Roslyn Obala is with me. I am Dan Mwangi, for the benefit of those who may not have known my voice by now, but my name is Dan Mwangi, and I am in studio with Roslyn Obala as we monitor this, just to get a sense of what's happening. Roslyn, what is your initial feeling around this with the Deputy President's situation, as has been said by Mwite?
Thank you, Dan. For the benefit of our viewers, I think if they're seeing what is happening now, the Speaker of the Senate, Amason Kingi, is consulting with the leadership, that is a Senate majority, Aaron Cheriot, and I can also see is having a conversation with the minority side, led by the minority whip, Ole Kina Ledama. Yeah. But you know, the law does not envisage such what has happened. Mm-hmm. And the fact that even the afternoon session, even from the government side, that is my National Assembly side, you had the legal team saying that 2 of the witnesses who had appended their affidavits are also not going to appear before the Senate. That is Nairobi Governor Johnson Sakaja, yes, and the Secretary to the Cabinet, Mansi Wanjau. On the side of the Deputy President, he was the key witness and the only witness. Yes. So the fact that he has taken ill and might not be able to take the stand now actually complicate the matters, because if you look at the standing orders of the House in terms of the time-bound frame that they are talking about, the Senate has 10 days to dispense with this matter. Okay,
let's just cross back to the Senate and hear what the Speaker is saying.
Senator Sigei, please take your seat. Now, honorable senators, we are facing a very unprecedented situation. At the rise of this House at 1:15, I indicated that upon resumption, we were going to hear the Deputy President. Upon resumption, Senior Counsel Paul Mwite, for and on behalf of the Deputy President, when I asked him to usher in the Deputy President for purposes of presenting him to give his evidence in chief, the Senior Counsel indicated that even him, he was unaware of the whereabouts of his client, and he asked for a few minutes to go fetch him, wherever he was. After a few minutes, Senior Counsel Paul Mwite came back to the chamber and indicated that he had gotten information which he was yet to verify, that his client had fallen sick, and indicated that he needed time to go look for him in whichever hospital he is, and that he should be given up to 5 p.m. today. The Council for the National Assembly, in response, indicated that this is a time-bound process. He referred to the Senate to rule Rule 11 of our rules of procedure, that where the Deputy President fails to appear, the Senate can actually proceed. Or, for exceptional reasons to be recorded, permit a later appearance before the Senate of the Deputy President. Having considered the two sides, my directions are as follows: that we will suspend this sitting and resume at exactly 5. So the Deputy President, we expect the Deputy President then to take the witness stand at 5. This is a time-bound process, unfortunately. It is so ordered.
There you have it. The sittings have been suspended until 5 p.m. That's in the next 1 hour, 27 minutes, when the expectation is that the Deputy President shall be available for the proceedings to continue, as the council representing him have been directed to go and locate him, and just to ensure that he is in hospital, or where he is, so to speak, and just to get some clarity on that. And that is the ruling of the Speaker of the Senate, that's Amason Kingi, who has said that he has suspended the sittings until 5 p.m. What we know from what has been said in the Senate right now is that, according to the Speaker, the Deputy President's legal team, the Deputy President has fallen ill and has been taken to hospital, and his situation, or what is ailing him, is yet to be disclosed or to be known. And so we shall also be following up on that, just to figure out what the situation is, which hospital he is in, and the likes. And like I had said, I'm with Roslyn Obala here. And Roslyn, you are speaking about, the law does not really envisage some of these things. So there'll be a need to look into the different laws that are there. Also consider when was the announcement, or the notification given to the Senate, and the timelines that are given legally for that to now be, put in place, in terms of when does this time lapse, because that's one of the biggest things here, that is a time-bound process. Your views?
Dan, if you look at the Constitution, that is Article 150, just with necessary modifications concerning also the removal of a president, and Article 145, and you also refer to the standing orders of the Senate, that is Standing Order 78 and 79, on the removal of both the president and the deputy president, then it gives the time frame within which this matter can be dispensed with. Remember, the Senate is a trial chamber, so they are supposed to actually go through these charges one by one and look at it, and that's why we've been having the presentation, cross-examination, and now this was the time for the key witness, who is the deputy president. And you remember yesterday, his counsel indicated that they were not planning to bring any other witness. He was the only key witness. If you look at that process, then it provides two ways of considering this motion. That is either the select committee way, which could have had the 11 members constituted, to also dispense with this matter within the 10 days period. But remember, the House decided to go the plenary way. And that is why today was a time that they were supposed to consider this. The fact that the key witness has been taken ill actually present us with a constitutional crisis. And I remember when we started this conversation, we said this is a constitutional moment for the country.
Yes.
Because we were actually testing the 2010 constitution. We've been seeing the impeachment of county bosses, their deputies, but we have not had an opportunity to have the deputy president actually being the one being impeached or the president. We had those conversations in the last parliament. Remember when William Ruto was the deputy president, but it actually didn't make it to the floor of the House. The fact that the first initial process of initiating this impeachment happened in the National Assembly and marshaled not just the 2/3, but an overwhelming 281, which is beyond the 2/3 of 233, and now coming to the Senate actually presents this country with just unexploited areas in this constitution. And just not this done alone. Even if you look at Article 149 that is talking about the vacancy in the office of the deputy president, again, it gives us again another new vital area in terms of this, our constitution. Because even if indeed Senate was to dispense with this matter and they were able to substantiate even one of the charges that have been presented against the deputy president, then again we are also exploiting another